Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Meeks and in this video I will be explaining why I have left the UK and have moved to Papua New Guinea on the other side of the globe for 2 years. So where do I start? I came across Papua New Guinea when I first went to Australia in 2019 to do a DTS, which stands for a discipleship training school with an organisation called YWAM. And so I did 6 weeks in Papua New Guinea as part of my outreach with a team of 16 of us, I believe it was, called Eden. And it was a life-changing experience. I fell in love with PNG straight away. And so I always had the intention to come back, but I planned to just come back for maybe a couple of weeks to visit. I never intended to come back for a couple of years to live. And so what happened was, when I returned home in March 2020, we had gone into a national lockdown in the UK. And so I wasn't able to go anywhere, but I had plans to go to the States to start my master's degree anyway. And so I applied and I got into a college over there and I started to look for scholarships and just ways to fund my degree, but I couldn't seem to find any and I couldn't get a visa either. And so January 2021 came around and classes had started and I was unable to attend. And so I was pretty much stumped after that. And I ended up speaking to my school leader in Australia, Lloyd. And he explained to me that YWAM had opened up a brand new base in the capital of PNG in Port Moresby. And he wanted to know if I would consider coming back to YWAM as a staff member and to join that new base. And so I told him that I'd think about it, I'd pray about it, and I'd get back to him. And I'll be very honest, I was scared because I had no intentions of living in PNG for such a long period of time. I just wanted to visit, to come see friends. But when I prayed about it, I felt God say clearly that, this is the door that I've opened for you and you are to walk in it. And so after that, I went back to Lloyd, my school leader, and I said, I would love to become a staff member at the new base in Port Moresby. And so I did my application and it was approved. And in February, I think it was the middle of February, I started to fill out all the forms that I needed to come to PNG. And I left for London literally a week after that. Unfortunately, it wasn't that straightforward. I had to wait for a particular document called an exemption letter, and there's only one person in the PNG government who can approve that letter for me, the pandemic controller. And so I ended up waiting roughly 8 weeks or so in London for that particular document. And it was because so many things were happening in PNG which caused there to be a delay. The pandemic controller, he unfortunately caught COVID and had to go into isolation the same weekend that YWAM submitted my documents. And so once he came out of isolation, unfortunately, the founding father of Papua New Guinea then passed away. And so there was a funeral and there was a mourning period. And then after that mourning period, there was a huge outbreak of COVID in the capital. And so it was just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And to be honest, there were many times that I wanted to quit and go home because it just seemed like it was never going to happen. This mountain in front of me was just determined not to move. And so I thank God that I had many good friends who would call and message and encourage me and tell me to hold on and to stand firm on what I believe God has told me in terms of going back to Papua New Guinea to staff. And so I held on, and eventually I finally got my documentation, and then YWAM then gave me the green light to go ahead and book my flights. And that was only a couple of days ago. And I am now here in Papua New Guinea. It's been about maybe 13 to 14 hours since I landed this morning at 5 a.m. I am exhausted and completely jet lagged, but I wanted to do this video as soon as possible because I wanted to explain my heart behind why I'm here. And so I will answer that question next. What will I be doing for the next 2 years? And so at the moment I am quarantining in a hotel. I will be here for 2 weeks. Once I'm released, I'll be going to the medical ship that YWAM has to help prepare it for its first outreach this year. It will be going to Western Province in June. And so there's a lot of work that needs to be done in order to get it ready for that. And so I'll be helping out on the medical ship for a couple of weeks. And then finally, I'll be going to the brand new base, the Jetty in Port Moresby, where I will be staffing. The plan, unfortunately, I was supposed to be staffing the DTS that has started there, but due to all the delays and setbacks, if I was to staff now, it'd be too late. They're already about 6 or 7 weeks into the school, and so I will be staffing, but just in a different capacity. I'm not too sure what that looks like yet, but I've made it clear to the leaders there that whatever capacity they need help in, I'm happy to serve. Thankfully, there will be another DTS in January, and so God willing, I will be able to staff that one. And so what these next 6 to 7 months look like, I have absolutely no idea. But I know that this is where I'm supposed to be, and I thank God. I have such a testimony in how God has brought me here. I have not paid for a single thing. I didn't pay for my flights. I didn't pay for my COVID test. The hotel that I'm currently sitting in right now, I did not pay for. So it is literally God who has brought me here. And as my friend Jordan says, you know, if it's God's will, then it's God's bill. And he's certainly been providing financially. And so going forward, this is a huge commitment that I've made to YWAM to be a staff member for 2 years. And so it's my greatest hope and desire that there are people who will be willing to come alongside me financially and support me monthly for as little as £20 a month. It will make such a huge difference for all the things that I have to pay for whilst I'm out here. This is a voluntary role, and so there are things that are covered, but there are things that I will have to pay for. And it would be great if I had about 15 to 20 people who would be willing to commit to that. I probably will still do a GoFundMe page for those who want to make one-time donations. I did have one for Australia, and so I most likely will do another one whilst I'm here in Papua New Guinea. But I really am looking for those few people who are willing to commit to being a monthly supporter. And if you are interested in doing that, in partnering with me in this new journey that I'm undertaking, then I will put my details somewhere around this video so you can get in touch with me, and I will make it clear to you in a more detailed way exactly what it is that your donations will be contributing towards. And so that's it for this video. I hope it explains my heart behind why I'm here, what it is that I'll be doing. As of course, as I get more information, I'll be doing more videos. I am going to do a separate one to actually show my journey in getting here. It was a crazy 30 hours, but God is faithful. So I'm going to post that soon. And I will probably do another video about my time in Australia last year. The only reason why I haven't done that yet is unfortunately my phone was stolen just a couple of days before we left Papua New Guinea to return to Australia. And so all the footage that I have, all the videos, the images, all of it is on that phone. But now that I am back in Papua New Guinea, I can thankfully get all that footage back. And so I'll be able to share with you all what my time was like in the 5 months that I was in Townsville. But that's it for this video. I really hope it explains everything. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to answer them. And I will be seeing you all in my next video update.